Hey YouTube world, what's going on? Mark here from TST Industries, back in the garage with another installation video. And as you can see behind me, we have a Yamaha Tracer 900. This is a 2019 model. So the following installation of the Womet-Tech Evos Shorty Levers will be for the 2018 to 2020 generation Tracer 900. As you can see, what is included, we have a clutch lever and a brake lever in all black with the red adjusters. We do have adjuster color options available on our website as an add-on. I won't get into too much of that right now. For more information, be sure to check out the product page. For now, let's go ahead and jump right in. That way we can go out for a ride. So let's begin this installation. Obviously, we do need to go ahead and remove the hand guards. So on these particular hand guards, we have a bolt on the outside. This is a 6mm bolt head with an Allen key, hex key. And then they mount onto the mirrors. We have some play here. It's clearly not enough, so we're going to go ahead and remove the mirrors at this point. And with that, the handguard comes right off. So now at this point, we can go ahead and remove the OEM lever. You'll need a flathead screwdriver and a 10mm socket. There's a small nut located underneath, and the flathead screwdriver will hold the bolt on top. We're actually going to break the nut free while holding the bolt in place. Once you have it free, you can actually go ahead and unscrew the bolt at this time. The nut will come off. You want to hold the lever while you're doing this. Once you remove this bolt from the threads, it won't unscrew all the way. It's just partially threaded. Then you want to pull up on it and remove the lever. At this point, you can go ahead and grab the Womet-Tech lever and insert it into the perch. You want to make sure that the divot on the lever is interacting with this brake push pin for the master cylinder, while also not damaging the electrical push pin. This is a switch on and off for the actual brake light. So you want to keep that in mind as you're installing these levers, or any levers when you do lever installations. Those are just some tidbits of information you want to be aware of. Once you have the lever in, you're going to actually want to wiggle it around a bit to make sure that the bolt does seat all the way. It'll drop just a few millimeters once it's seated fully. And we can grab our flathead screwdriver at this time, bottom it out without the nut engaged. And then we will grab the nut and our ratchet and socket. Begin by hand threading it as always to make sure you're not cross threading or damaging it. And as you go to tighten it, just hold the bolt on top with your tool. All right. Now that that is complete, we're actually going to check our work. Turn the bike on, make sure that your brake light is engaging. And it is, so we're happy. You can now adjust these to whichever distance you like and move on over to the clutch side. Coming on over to the clutch lever side of the bike, we're going to follow those same steps. We'll begin by removing the outer bolt on the lever guard. And before I finalize this entire installation, obviously I will be going ahead and reinstalling the lever guard and the mirror. Now on this side, it's a little bit different of a setup. There is, as you can see, no bolt hole or no flathead accepting feature on this side for the pivot bolt, but there is a nut underneath. It's in the same exact location as the brake lever side. Please keep in mind as you begin to loosen this nut, the pivot bolt will raise and it may start spinning. It is a shouldered pivot bolt, and I will show that once I remove it. can actually see it's already starting to rise up. And what's going to happen here in a few turns is that. So when that happens, you actually want to push down on it and hold it down, locking it in place so you can continue removing this nut. With the nut removed, we can push on the underside of the clutch pivot bolt, and you can see right here what I am talking about. There's a small shoulder on this bolt that sits perfectly in that recess there and locks it in place. So keep that in mind as you're loosening and tightening the clutch pivot bolt. Now, with that removed, we can technically remove the clutch lever. Before I started shooting, I set this up perfectly, but you want the slotted portion of this clutch lever adjustment all the way through, and that will help you. As you can see, it all just slid out perfectly, and when you actually go to reinstall, you'll want to readjust those to your liking. Now when you remove this and reinstall, we're going to remove this bushing, and then we're going to remove the clutch cable from the lever housing. This bushing will get replaced onto the new lever, but I want to keep note of this small electrical switch. That is the clutch safety switch. That is what allows you to start your bike or not start your bike without the clutch being engaged. If you break this, you can technically start your bike in any gear without the clutch engaged, and that could cause issues, potentially damage to your bike and yourself. So please keep that in mind when you're removing this lever and you're reinstalling the new one. Now with that lever removed, we're gonna go ahead and grab our grease gun and the new lever. And you can see here, when we go to install it, we're going to make sure that we actually are hitting the top portion of that switch. But before doing that, we're going to actually apply a little bit of grease onto this bushing. Take my grease gun here. I have a little bit of grease on my finger. I'm just gonna lubricate this. And I will also just grease this clutch pivot bolt just a tiny bit as well, just to make it easier to slide in. Now with all of our components greased up and ready to install, let's go ahead and grab our lever. Make sure that we're not losing this bushing that we've placed in there. And we're going to start by inserting the clutch cable into the lever housing. I'm going to show you underneath what's going on. You're inserting it into that accepting feature, and then twisting the lever to lock it into the channel. All right, and with that in place and set up, now we could just make the tiny adjustments needed, if any at all, like you saw that just went right in. Twist the clutch pivot bolt until you hear it click. Once you do, you know it's in place and locked. And now by hand, we can go ahead and reinstall the locking nut underneath. Now this is one of those assemblies that you definitely don't want to over tighten. This is a functional assembly. If you over tighten this clutch pivot bolt and the nut, you can actually compress the entire fulcrum, and then that will actually give you functionality issues with your clutch lever either not returning or not engaging. You definitely don't want those issues. So what we're gonna do is, right now you can see there's a little bit of play. We just wanna get rid of that. So little by little, we're gonna tighten that. Once you feel it bottom out, you can go another 1/8 of the turn. Check your lever play. It seems good to me. And now, if you have a small flathead screwdriver, you can use that, or you can just use your fingers to twist this clutch adjustment tool so that it is no longer aligned with the slot on the lever and the perch, securing your cable in place. Now at this point, we can go ahead and reinstall the mirrors and the lever guards and go out for a ride. Again, by hand. Always start your threads and your bolts by hand to prevent cross-threading. Once you're happy, you can lock it in place. It's pretty secure, and then you can adjust your mirror. We're going to copy that to the other side, and then we'll be good. All right, and with that, this installation is now complete. We have our mirrors back installed, our lever guards are back installed, and our all new Shorty levers, which you actually cannot see on camera right now, are installed. So if you like this product, you want to check it out, you want to see what else we have to offer for the Tracer 900 or another bike sitting in your garage, be sure to stop by our website, tstindustries.com. The link to these levers is in the description of this video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, want to say hello, drop a line below in the comment section. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn the notification bell on to stay up to date with all the new and exciting videos we are putting out. And lastly, stop by our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all username TST Industries, to stay up to date with what exactly we are doing. For now, this has been Mark from TST Industries. We'll catch you guys next time.